This is James Combe, the guy on the bike, and I'd like to welcome you all here to another half-ass production. Today we're out in one of the upcoming neighborhoods to the east of Williamsburg. They call this Mojo, between the Morgan and Jefferson stop, and we're paying a visit to a young painter that's going to be having a show coming up here at Damstuhl Traeger Gallery, opening on September 14th, and his name is Chris Dam. Let's see if we can take a look at what he's doing. Hey, it's me, James Combe. Hey, Chris.
Hi, how's it going?
How about a little studio visit?
Sounds good.
Yeah? You been busy?
Yeah, I'm busy.
Good. Sounds good. Just down the hall?
Yeah.
All right. This is an interesting place you got here. And is this basically straight oil paint that you're using, or are you mixing some Galkut or some of these other
No, it's straight oil paint.
stuff?
Straight oil paint. Actually, with the larger ones, I just started to do that because I realized, but everything that's here is straight oil paint, except the two big ones that I started to do like a undertone of acrylic, but all these are straight oil.
And this is all stuff that's going to be
At the show.
at your show that's opening September 14th.
Yeah, if I can get everything in order. So.
At Damstuhl Traeger.
Yeah.
So are we mostly going to be seeing more of the box series, or this is kind of new?
These are more like house, almost like church steeples of some sort, but they're different. They're boxes with roofs. They've developed. They have a little roof on them.
Where do you see this kind of stuff coming from as far as your art historical roots go? Do you see this connected with psychedelic art or cubism or?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of these are sort of portraitures, in some ways. They're definitely have references to cubism, African art, and just street art mostly. But there's definitely caricaturing them. This is you can look at these as portraits almost, so to an extent. Like this, there's just I'm still in process of having a deadline is great, because it just makes you
Yeah, but it's good. It's good to sort of have a date that you just have to stop at some point, put them on a wall, and stand back and sort of let the chips fall where they do.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. There was a couple. I've been painting for a year and a half without really thinking of a show or a deadline, and trying to develop things, and you just keep adding paint and keep trying to work. Like that's what some of these paintings are kind of from that state, where you just keep adding and adding and adding.
And I heard that you did very well at the Scope Hamptons show.
Yeah, that's all some work. So
that's always nice.
Yeah.
Can we take a look at some of the other pieces?
Yeah.
Some of the larger pieces.
These are not quite done. These need a lot more work also. And these actually have an acrylic base on them, but the top coat is oil.
Now this is probably a bigger scale than you've ever worked before. What are those 4x6 footers? Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think it's very large for me right now.
And you're just getting started on these, right?
Yeah. And some of it's...
Yeah, the ones on the left, there's a little more worked up here.
Yeah. And this is kind of this cartoony sort of like Donald Judd, Richard Serra inspired, you know, sort of imagery it's a diptych, and it kind of has like, you know, a sequence and pattern, and then it's you know, I was thinking of, you know, like these, like Richard Serra and his...
So do you see this work as kind of a humorous, maybe parody of minimalism and high formalism, and
yeah,
sort of, or just using that as a sort of structure to jump off from and sort of go into your own more painterly kind of maybe decorative or obsessive abstraction that you sort of evolve this stuff into?
Well, the box is definitely like, yeah, I think it's, the ones that I was doing before are really small, so it's kind of even more of like a parody of the idea of massive land art that, you know, that costs millions of dollars to, you know, lighten it up with color, you know, making it kind of, you know, not so somber, and more of a you know, in a way making fun of it, but also bringing it up to like a graffiti sort of humorous and also portraiture sort of level of the art, that's like kind of making fun of that, but taking it to an extent that's a little different. But that's something that I mean, because I you know, like Terrell and Serra and all these, it's something that has influenced me.
Is this piece here going to be a diptych?
Yeah, it's a diptych, and everything kind of, and these pieces, for example, there's a sort of a rhythm of scale, and also here, where like these are all boxes that are kind of floating in space, and then they kind of go from larger to smaller, and then they kind of float, and then there's these drops that I still haven't really developed.
That's a pretty big painting too. What is that? It's about 5 foot square, right?
Yeah, it's a 5 foot square.
No, when I was a kid studying at art school, they always said that the square was a shape that you should avoid.
Avoid?
Because they didn't have the sort of the contrast which would aid in making a more interesting painting, so it was always like a very hard shape to sort of design a composition into. Now, how many paintings are we going to see at the show at Damm-Stuhlträger?
Hopefully all of these and a couple more that I think I don't have with me at this point.
I always wanted to ask you whether or not you were familiar with the work of a psychedelic artist who did a lot of posters. His name was Victor Moscoso.
You know, no, I'm not, but there's a whole psychedelic show at the Guggenheim, right?
I think it's at the Whitney. It was like Summer of Love. Yeah.
I really want to see that.
I wanted to see if I could sneak in there and get some pictures, but I missed the press preview. So, talking with Cristobal Damm as he prepares for his one-man exhibition at Damm-Stuhlträger that is opening September 14th, right?
Yeah, September 14th.
Well, and when are you getting married? Is that going to be a few months from now, or?
In October.
You haven't set a date? Oh, it's October.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations, and I hope you have good luck with the show.
Thanks.
Okay, so we're here paying a little studio visit. Cristobal Damm, out here in, what do they call this place? Mojo? Is that the neighborhood?
The Wick or
the Wick. The Schwick? What's the Schwick?
I don't know. It's just a abbreviated term. Oh, Mojo, I don't know. Yeah, Mojo too. Yeah, that's Morgan Jefferson stop.
Morgan Jefferson stop. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Kate.